What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeer Zone for another live show. Which usually, what usually happens is I'm out on Thursday and things start popping off every single Thursday. But while I'm at home, I have absolutely nothing to talk about. But it's good. We have something to talk about today. With me is Norbert, who was on last week, right? Yeah, you were on last week,
Yeah.
and a lot has happened. Things we weren't expecting to happen, and things we were probably expecting to happen did happen today. So we'll go over that as well, and then through the chat as always. So how are you doing first of all?
I'm good. I'm doing good. We have 40 millions more than yesterday or like 2 days ago. So yay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, or yeah, even more. But we probably are not going to get that all this summer.
Yeah,
Actually,
for sure.
probably nothing. But it is what it is. Um, oh, where are we going to start? Let's start off with probably the biggest news, and that's Rovella, because we were not talking about selling him last week, or like me and you. I said on Monday I wouldn't be shocked if he leaves, and that was before actually the news dropped that he was in talks. Because this moved extremely quickly, like 2 days, and it's done. And I said on Monday, I think it was, I said I wouldn't be surprised if he's not with the club because um, everybody's getting impressed. Like Cambiaso, there's no news on him. He has no shirt number. He's injured. There was no preseason. I was like, this doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right to me. And we were linked with Cassier. I was like, something is up here. So he's gone. I will start off with the first part, which I'll ask you, and that's the player. Not value, nothing, just the player. What do you think of would you have kept him? That's I think that's the big question. Would you have kept Rovella?
So we all know he has an issue with injuries, and it showed. And what you said already is true. I think that Allegri was pissed that he couldn't go, he couldn't play in the US tour. And what I think about it is he would have deserved a chance for sure. But the club needs money, and now it looks like maybe the Dushan deal is gone. I'm hoping for that, but and now it looks like we are just trying to scrape everything we have and all these cheaper players and make as much as we can. So yeah, I would have loved to see him at least, until winter or whatever, But it is what it is. The club made money, and yeah, we talk about the deal later.
Um, I would have I would have wanted to see him also because I don't want to see Rovella play in the DM position. Now, if tomorrow we wake up and we are closer signing Turam, I'm just saying something. I'm like, cool, like yeah, I'll take that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Um, we'll talk about that later on. But his injuries and people say, oh, it's 2000. I'm like, he missed a lot of games already at this age. It's worrying, and then people throw you, oh, but Pogba, and I'm like, like I'm saying, leave Pogba. Like I'm like injury problems. I said Chiellini when he was actually very good still. I said like he's missing too many games. Like this is a bit weird. He's the captain, but he's not always available. I don't think that's a good situation moving forward. And that was freaking Chiellini. So like I think he's a good player, Rovella, by the way, and I think he's excellent actually. But like you said, the Lukaku thing is on hold now. I still think it's not completely over. Then again, they're spending 120 on Caicedo and like 50 on Lavia now, so they're not gonna up their bid. If we want 40, they're not gonna move to 40 at this point, I guess, unless we drop it, and that's my fear a little bit still. Um, it is what it is. When that news dropped from Lukaku and I just said like we are gonna sell. We're gonna sell players you absolutely don't want to sell. Giovanni said look out for Chiesa. You cannot sell Chiesa now because then you're screwed. Your top four hopes are gone. Like it is what it is. So you cannot do that. But we're gonna sell these players. My issue is, and now we go to the point. The value is not good. And I wasn't on yesterday, and we sold Zakaria. I'll talk about that as well. And everybody was praising Juntuli, and I was like, "That's a good deal," but like, you cannot do that. You can like, and then people were listing up what was happening. I'm like, this is the bare minimum. We are getting value for the players. Zakaria, from in my opinion, in today's market is at least 20 mil, at least. Like that's the bare minimum. If you sell underneath that, you're doing a terrible job. That was my opinion, and we're selling players we should be selling. That's one. So that wasn't me hyping because I know Juntuli, and I said when you signed, and like I need to see even next summer because now he just come in out of nowhere basically season mid not mid transfer season, but we were already into the transfer season. A lot of issues, we know that. But 70 million for Nicola Rovella is terrible business. That's just my opinion. And I'm not saying I want 30 million. I'm not saying that. But man, 23, 25, I think that would have been fair. You know, Lotito played us. Throw in Pellegrini for 5-4. I'm happy Pellegrini's finally gone. But that took so long, and at the end of the day, they got us. What do you think? Like, forget about Pellegrini. That's what it is, I guess. 70 million euros for Rovella. Is that good? You know, do we need to praise Juntali for it, or?
So from my end, there is no praise for that. Originally, I was like, okay, so we're getting like 21 for him and like whatever, 5 to 10. Obviously, 10 is like really unrealistic, but like 5 mil for Pellegrini. We make close to 30, yay. And then it turns out that it's 21 for both.
Yeah.
And we bought Rovella more for more money when we bought him. So it yeah, they pulled down our pants, and we are Juventus, and it's now we can't say okay, it's a shitty GM, or you know, it's Giuntoli. So I don't know. It's really bad, and the winter deal as well looks really bad as well.
Yeah, well, I'll talk that as well. Really
Yeah,
quickly, Inter are selling Gosses to Hertha, and they're now moving for Carlos Augusto, who was linked. He's a target by like Romeo said or Mirko Di Natale said it. So let's see how that will go as well. But yeah, like the money we got, like the value we got for Rovella is terrible. Like it's absolutely terrible. Like I don't even know how to put it in a different way. If I'm being completely honest, no, like I don't. I, when I saw that, I'm like, what? Like we played hardball for weeks and weeks with certain players, like Pellegrini for a few millions, and you sell Rovella in 2 days. Like
yeah. Like, why didn't they negotiate a little bit? Like, come on.
my theory is they don't have time anymore, which is a fact. You know,
Mm.
there's not a lot of time, and maybe they have somebody eyed and they need to move quickly. I think that's like that. That's the only thing I would kind of accept at this point. No, other than that, I don't think I don't think it makes sense because 70, like he's worth at least 23, 25 for me, like easily. And Lazio
Yeah.
have the money. They sold Savage. They're in the Champions League. I don't get what's happening. Like I don't get it. 70 mil is terrible.
And there is no future sale
No, no.
percentage, no buyback, no nothing. So yeah, it's really bad.
Let me see.
And also, as you said, if we buy a decent midfielder, then I'm fine with this. You know, I'm more fine with this because, you know, maybe they wanted to pull the trigger fast on someone else, or I don't know. You know, then it makes sense. But
Yeah, yeah. But that's my only like not my only thought, but like that's what I have in mind now, basically.
yeah,
Um, because the value is well, it's terrible. I'm sorry if I'm looking at something else. I'm following the news as well, but he's gone. He's gone. Pellegrini is gone. I don't think we need to talk about Pellegrini. Like he's a terrible player. Period. Like finally he's gone. The winter. You know, we sold the winter. 8 million plus 2 in potential bonuses, based on it's a loan with an option and an obligation. So it's an obligation if
weird.
they reach certain things group wise, and everybody's assuming it's staying in Serie A, they can still activate that even if they go down for the same amount of money. Basically, they still have that option as well. So it's kind of both a little bit. Um, 8 million. I'm not gonna count the 2 million because the way it was described, it wasn't like he needs to play for Genoa apparently quite a few years. So let's say 8. I think it's terrible. You can get more. Even if it's Genoa, you can get more for the winter. Like I'm That's just my honest opinion. I think that's very cheap. I think that's very low. Like that's extremely low when you think about it. 8 million in today's market. I If it was so low, like I would have accepted 8 mil if we had a sell on value clause. If we had a buyback clause, then I would be like, okay, fine. But we don't have any of those things. So 8 million, I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like he worth almost double that, almost like 14, 15 or
I was
something,
thinking
but like
also like
eight,
14, 15. Yeah, same thing.
8. Ugh. Yeah. They need the money. They need the money fast. That's the only thing I can think of. They want to collect as much as they can so they can pull the trigger on someone. I'm really hoping none of the people on the list I saw. So
It's like and the other thing that comes to mind when I see the winter like leaving and I see Rugani new deal talks, like it makes me absolutely sick. And I will say it again. I don't want to hear he's on cheap money. He's on cheap money because he's not like he's just what it is, you know. I don't want to hear it because I've heard it with Chilio. We loaned these players out for good reasons. They're now back. They're getting new deals. That's not how you should operate. It's not that they came back and you were like, "Wow, what happened?" You know, unbelievable. We made a mistake. We're letting you go. You flipped your career around. It's not like he's on two
and
million euros because he's a like as a backup. Like I want these players. I want them out of the club. They've been here for a long time. Oh, but he's fourth choice. Is he? We only have Gatti and Bremer. If you're being honest, Sandro's not a center back. Back three, yeah, yes. Danilo is not a center back. In a back three, he plays center back. Other than that, he's not. So, what is the plan? Like that's also my one of my issues. You told Bonucci to leave. Fine, I get it. But Rugani's a free agent. He should be gone. And I thought you're gonna keep the winter. Maybe Hoyson gets a few minutes here and there, and then next season you're like, okay, he's gonna be really integrated and he's gonna challenge Bremer, Gatti, or whoever for that starting position. And you, Rugani, thanks for your services. But it's been like 7 years now. Come on. And even like from his perspective, people are like, oh, he wants to save for 2 million. Yeah, he's not gonna get that money elsewhere. He's not. He's not going to go play for Genoa on 1 million euros. I would say for 2 million euros living in Torino playing for Juve. I would do that. He's 31. He knows who he is. He's already been loaned out. He's been loaned out to Cagliari. He's been benched at Cagliari. I would have taken that money. Like, let's not pretend like this is an amazing thing. Oh, he's going from 3.2 to 2. Yes, because nobody is going to pay him 3.2. Like, if he's going to hit the market, he will get to maybe from Fiorentina, but that's a reach because I think he's 30, 31. Maybe I'm mistaken. I think he's something like that. He's not gonna
yeah,
get that money. Like the Chilio, same thing. Yes, they're saying because they're gonna get good money, live in a great city, play for a great team, like a big team, good life. Of course, they're gonna take it. These players have
yeah.
no ambition. They prove it. They
We
have no
we
ambition. So
we are making the same mistakes. Like why is Giuntoli want to renew Rugani? It doesn't make any sense. Why?
I,
It doesn't make
I
any
have no
sense.
like you don't need to spend a transfer fee. I'm like cool. You don't need to you don't need to spend. You have the winter. Oh, but he needs to play. He's 29. Okay, so it's close. It
Yeah,
feels like he's 30, 31. Like his ambition is like a player who's 30, 31. Like it is what it is.
the only thing makes sense what we said is that the club needs the money fast, and we can, instead of selling one of the big three, like Bremer, Chiesa, or
Okay,
Vlahovic,
that's fine. But
just collecting the
Rugani is a
money.
free agent next season. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
let's see. Let's wait for next season. Who knows? Maybe Hoysa gets minutes, and you're like, man, he can actually play at this level. Wow. Like, there's no need to rush into things. Like, he's a free. You can start talks with Rugani in May next year,
yeah,
and if you offer him two, he will take it. He will take it. Like, you can. Nobody is gonna come in for Rugani, and if people do, well, it is what it is. You
good
know,
for them. Like,
good for them.
come on, I'm pretty sure we can start the negotiation on the 30th of June. Like, come on,
Yeah,
no one
it's
wants him.
crazy. Like, and like, I don't get it, and I don't want to hear he's on cheap wages. Yes, man. Do you- what do you want me to say? Do you want me to praise that he's on 2 million euros? Like, what else do you want me to say? Like, I don't get that argument. I don't get it. I absolutely. It's like saying it's like the Pinsolio thing. Oh, but he's on cheap wages. Yeah, man, because he's like he's a Serie B level goalkeeper. Yes, he's on cheap wages. And I'm not bringing him for a reason, but people bring that up. I'm like, yeah, he's a third goalkeeper. He's a Serie B level player. Like, what you want me to say? Like, yes, like he should be on cheap wages. Like, it is what it is. But whatever. So the winter is gone. No buyback, no sell-on clause, absolutely nothing. Also, people, like the video, please subscribe. I will be live tomorrow for the watch along for last preseason game. I think the most important one of the season, because we're probably going to see the lineup for the first game of the season, besides McKennie, because he's kind of injured, and it's going to be the same team we are dropped in. We got worse. At this point, this team is worse than last season. It is worse, and
Like
that's
that first starting 11 is going to be interesting because we can't loan out Miretti now. He needs to start against Udinese. We don't have midfielders. All of them are injured. Rabiot is not 100%. Fagioli is not 100%.
That's a good point.
Pogba is out till December, I would say,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
So yeah, Miretti needs to.
I was thinking about, I was prepping things for tomorrow. Excuse me, and I was, you know, looking at what we have, and I was like, man, we have done nothing. I was expecting
something.
I was expecting a base. Not nothing. I was expecting really basic things, but we have done nothing. That team is worse. Like, let's be completely honest. And maybe like at the back, maybe you can say it's better because we didn't know how good or like what Gatti could have done, and he improved. So maybe okay, it's not great, but it is what it is. You drop we are in there, fine, but we still do not know how he's gonna pan out. Preseason cool, but like in general, we don't know. You lost Di Maria, who was his guy. You brought in Paredes, who was your guy. He's gone. I don't like Chiesa. Okay, he's fit, but that team did not improve, and that's my biggest issue. And a couple of days ago, I said I don't think we're gonna sign a midfielder. And today I sat back. I'm like, man, they sold Rovella. Miretti and Nicolosi are probably out of the door. You have Rabiot, Fagioli, you have Locatelli, and you have Pogba. And McKennie. Pogba, fine. He's like, I don't count Pogba. But man, McKennie cannot be a main factor into the season. I don't get why he's still at the club. Like, again, one of those cases, you loaned him out and now he's back. What are your expectations for McKennie? Like the club, somebody in that presser on next Saturday, because we play Sunday, needs to ask Allegri, what is the expectation of McKennie? Because you loaned him out because you thought he was not good enough, and and you will get the answer. Oh, we didn't think he was not good enough. It was for this. You loaned him out because you wanted him out. You put in an option to buy as well. Like, don't put like, if that's the answer, fight it. Tell me, what are your expectations of McKennie? Because he's saying, what do you think he's gonna change to his game compared to 6 months ago at Leeds, where he wasn't good, actually was very average if you ask Leeds fans. What are your expectations? Like, do you think he's going to help us? Does anyone believe McKennie is going to help us into the season? Do you?
And also, it feels like if you want to make not good money, but like quick money, McKennie could be one of those players we can sell relatively fast, I feel, for some money.
People say there's no offer. I'm like, I've seen the Rovella deal today. You're not going to tell me there's no offer where you're going to take a hit on McKennie. Like, I refuse to believe that. I absolutely refuse to believe that. Like, that cannot be true. Maybe we didn't hear that in the media. Fine, I get it. But I will not believe that for one bit. So
yeah, not fair offer, but some offer for sure would be.
That's what I think. But he's going to be here. So that's that. Now, I sat back and I said, I don't think we're going to sign one. And today I was like, we need to sign one. Like, even if I don't think it's going to happen, we have no option now. Like, there is no option. We need a DM. We needed him today. After we sold Rovella, we should have announced it. Like, by figure of speech, because we need one. I don't want Locatelli. The options are out there. Julian is gonna drop a video tomorrow. He's gonna go over the options. Um, Dimarco saying, or Romano saying, we're gonna go for one. Uh, Dimarco made a list. Before I go into the list, do you think we're gonna sign one? Because that's a big question.
We need one. We need one. We will sign one. The question is that are we going to sign someone that is not Juventus level? I would say more than likely yes. We're gonna sign someone like Fiorentina level, maybe from them. um, and I like some of the options, but those options for me and how we operate and how much money we have, I don't think they're realistic.
Okay, so that's fair, but there are four names out there, and with the time, like the 12th of August, I don't see other names being added to the list unless you're somehow gonna pay money for Freuler from Nottingham because he's out there, Then, excuse me, yes. Nico Shira saying Bologna is interested in Miretti on loan. So that's that. I would prefer Bologna over Salernitana, by the way, for him. The names. The names are Amrabat, Partey, Turam, and Diara. Now, I'll say my opinion. I don't want to hear Partey being linked with us. That's one. Like, I don't want to even discuss it. I like Amrabat. I like him a lot. I don't rate him as highly as people do because people have seen the World Cup, and they took over social media or whatever. I get it, but over the course of a season, like that level, he doesn't like he plays at a good level of Fiorentina, but not that level. So I don't want, like, I think people are a bit confused there. I'll take Amrabat for a good price because he's out of contract. Fine, I get it. You want a combative midfielder in there. I take Thuram in a heartbeat. If you tell me we sold Rovella to get Thuram, I'm like, yes. But it's 40 million euros, valued at 40 million. So you can probably put that off the board. I think the most realistic option out here is Diara from Strasbourg. And he's a player I've not watched play a single minute. But he's the one where I will be like, I'll take him. And I've not watched him. I just read a scouting article. And that's it. But when I hear things, I see things, or like read things, the way people praise him, fine. It cannot be, like, it cannot translate on the field. I don't know. But we brought in Giuntoli, and I was expecting this. I was wanting this. I was ready for this, Unless you tell me you sell Chiesa, Pogba, Vlahovic, Bremer, and you bring in 3 random guys. I think that's too much at once. But I was like, 20 million for a player who is highly rated and still kind of flying under the radar, apparently, Maybe one good season and it's Thuram level and you're paying 40 million. So I'd rather spend 20 million on that than 40 million on Thomas Partey. Not 40 million on Thuram because I would take Thuram because I don't think that's an option. Or 30 whatever for Amrabat, who is proven, but I'm thinking long term, and I'm like, that's not gonna have any sell-on value. And yesterday somebody told me, oh, you want all youngsters and all players we can sell. I don't want all youngsters in the team. I've never said that. I said, if you can plug in a youngster who will do as good as his job on a cheap Sirugani, then I'll do that. Yes, we need to sell. And somebody told me, oh, we're not Ajax or Dortmund. At this point, we are a little bit. Not to that extent. But if you want to be sustainable, and that's what we need to do, then these are the type of deals you need to make. Not Lukaku. If we were clean financially, I would be like, yeah, sign Amrabat. I like him. I don't care. Fine, take him on board. But in the situation we're in now, I'm like, yeah, I think that's the most likely outcome. If we're gonna sign one, unless some new name pops up, which we don't heard about for now, I think it's gonna be Diara. So you have some strong thoughts on certain players, so you go.
Yeah. Partey is. I don't hate him. I really liked him in Atletico. I think in a Spanish or Italian league he would be good. Um, but he would cost unrealistic money because it's Arsenal and because it's Premier League. So no, thank you. A hard no. Obviously, Thuram is my favorite from the list. Thuram is really good, and I really like him, and I saw a few times, and he's solid. Um, for me, Amrabat, I don't know. Right now, yes. Right now, yes. As you said, like if it would be like a fully decked out team like we used to be, then Amrabat should nowhere near be in the team. But right now, yes. So Amrabat is my second choice, and Diara is my third because he's young, and I don't think he would be a starter with Allegri. I think Locatelli would be a DM, and
Yeah, that
if it's Amrabat or Thuram, I think then Allegri would start them. So that's why I would like Amrabat or Thuram. Um, but if it's any of these three and not Party, I think it's not bad. I think it would be solid for the right price. But Thuram is also costly, so
Thuram is costly.
maybe
I like Thuram
yeah.
is very costly. People, I'll read out the comments in a few. Excuse me, like the video still. Thuram, I think everybody will take Thuram out of that list, or most people. But I don't see that happening. Like I think he's also the weakest name being pushed on. Like not the weakest in terms of the way it's been pushed by the media. I think that's like the weakest name out of there. Like because I think everybody knows that's probably not gonna happen. But then again, we're linked with Thomas Partey, so I don't know how that makes sense if we're being honest. Um, but I will take Thuram. Obviously, I will take Thuram. We need a midfielder and we need a DM badly, like really badly. My issue is like it's 12th of August. Like when, if so, when basically, we were linked with Carlos Augusto, so that situation is as all like has my attention in terms of. So we're not sure about Kostic Junior Alexandro staying. Like, are we still gonna make a move? I don't know. There are no offers. Like, we heard all summer Premier League teams are in for Junior, but no team really came out forward. So, are there Premier League teams in for Junior? Kostic today, yesterday, he could leave, but no teams mentioned. So, I don't know. Like, we need a DM big time. Cambiasso saying so. I'm kind of cooled down on. We need a fullback. Do I rate him highly? No, But he's there in the squad, so you're probably not gonna sign somebody because he can play right, left. That's so it's probably
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
yeah. And did you see he had these different instructions against the youngsters? He was pushed more forward,
Yeah,
and he was actually
yeah.
asked to do something different, and he kind of did it well. So
He did.
let's
I
see.
thought like I'm not gonna say because I don't like him. Um,
He moved well.
he did very well. Again, it's not against under 23s. I get it,
Yeah.
but yeah, like he played a bit up the pitch, which is interesting to see. Um, but let's see. Like I hope he proves me completely wrong because that's a win for us. Because then that's one less problem we should be worrying about, basically. Um, but let's see. I think. Probably tomorrow I think this weekend we will have some news to talk about because there's no time, like you cannot skip weekends now. You
Yeah.
can, and season is kicking off, so things will start moving naturally for all teams. They will probably make deadlines for players they potentially could sell and all those things. And that Lukaku Vlahovic thing, I'll keep saying it, it's still not over. I still expect a twist for Vlahovic to
Mm.
another team. Maybe Tottenham making an offer. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna accept Tottenham. But I'm still waiting for a twist on that because it took so long and everybody knew what the demands and offers were. You knew how far you were apart. I find it strange that now out of nothing it's blown off. I find it very 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 strange. It's just my opinion because the valuation was that's what Chelsea wanted to pay. We knew that for weeks, and now you're like, it's not gonna happen. So what happened during those weeks? Like, did you actually talk? Yes or no? I don't know.
I think it's a hard pause on this. I don't think it will happen now. Um, And I that's why we see these sales. I think there's a connection. That's why we see these sales, because June totally said, okay, we're not gonna waste Vlahovic for that price. So that's why we see these sales. And whoever we buy for the midfield or wherever, that person will not start. That should not, because 1 week and the season starts, and I don't think Allegri would just throw someone in like that. So I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe like the sales that are happening today were kind of all expecting, or like we were waiting for, but it happened really quickly. And but you can argue then, there was no time. Like if it's not now, then when? Like how many times did I end the
Yeah.
video by saying hopefully something will
Hope
happen?
for next week.
Yeah. So let me read out the comments. Yildiz to start. Well, not for us.
Hmm,
Not for us.
not yet.
No, not yet. Crazy, we might have bought Paredes for 22 when he's now going to Turkey for 6. Yeah, I don't think we were ever gonna buy. I think we're lucky if Boba gets to start 10 games this season. I think I said something like that, like 12 games or 15 games overall. That's not starts, like minutes. Minutes. What are the pressing mercato? Yeah, yeah. Like simple, like it's depressing. I don't think we buy a mid. Allegri wants to play Ealing centrally and said Fagioli can play Regista. Um,
Hmm.
I get that, but we've been linked with Cassie so long and so strongly that even if we don't end up with getting one, we want one, or Allegri wants one. That's what I think. And then if he doesn't get one, then yes, he will resort to those options. But I saw an article later, yeah, in a bit. I don't know which, a few minutes ago, that we're still pushing for Augusto and that Kostic Jr. can leave. So who knows? My fear is that we will get Diara and he will ride the bench. I don't think so. Um,
I think he needs a little time, but he will start in this team.
yes, I don't think he will ride the bench because um, I think it will just happen naturally. I
Yeah.
think I think Allegri understands the situation of the club. Like the little money we have, if you spend it on the player, you're gonna use him. Like you need to use him. Otherwise, what is the strategy here? Because you're just not helping yourself. Then you're not. So I think he will play naturally, not starting from the get go, whatever. But like along the way, I think he will. Also because Locatelli's terrible in that position. So I don't. At one point, I think even he will be like, even
Yeah.
against under 23s, like he was making fouls, like stupid fouls. I'm like that. Like this is a friendly. Like what is happening over here? Like I don't get it with him. But I think it will happen naturally because it needs to happen. Like there's no other way around it. Um. So Barrenechea, did I say Barrenechea? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frosinone are closing on Barrenechea on loan. I would have sold them, but loan, I guess. Okay, he's
Ma-
he's he's not good enough for the first team.
Maybe
He
he
will
will
never be.
play. Maybe he will play well, and then we can sell him next year.
Maybe yes, but I don't think he has qualities to stay at the club. He's just an okay
Yeah.
player, like nothing special, like nothing like wow, that's good about it. So we will probably flip him in next year or in a year or two for like 4 or 5 million, something like that. So, but yeah, good for him to get some playing time, basically. Other than that, nothing has dropped during the life. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, nothing else.
Bonucci. What about the Capitano Bonucci and suing the club?
I didn't tweet it out because I was like, the story makes no sense. Like you can train fine, but like the club can say you cannot train with the group. Like apparently that's not a law. Like you can tell a player not to train with the group. Also, you're 37. Like okay, so let's say the judge says or whatever, yeah, you need to train with the group. You just stroll back into train. Like I don't know what's the player. Like I don't get
Nah,
it. Like
he gets his money. There is no law like that. He gets his money,
he
and
has no
that's it.
offer. I think we will just terminate this contract, pay something. I think that will happen in some way because he has no offers, nothing, and um, I, I don't get it.
Not even the Saudis want him or
He's
MLS
he's
or
not even looking for one. It seems no.
Yeah,
That's the
you're
feeling
right.
I'm
Yeah.
having. Like he
Yeah.
still thinks this will come good, and we will end up adding him to the squad. You know. Let me see, because people are saying they tweeted about Diara contact. Okay, they're in talks with for Diara. Let me which I said, to be honest. I knew. Let me read it out. Let me get the article up. Whoops, that's not good.
Is there any reliable
Juve is
source?
making an attempt for it's Di Marzio, Diara. The
Oh.
interest of the midfielder is significant. In the past few hours, there have been contacts to explore the conditions of the potential deal. He wants to leave Strasbourg, um, and he wants to go to a team that can play in Europe for the coming years. A lot of clubs are in for him. Wolfsburg. I've told Strasbourg they can pay up to 50 million, 15. Uh, they uh, they want 20 million. Giuntoli wants him. Okay, so that's the story. So you go, you react. I will tweet it out.
I would be really happy with this. What was it, 20?
They want 20. They said no to a 50 million offer already.
20. 20 mil. Okay, pull it. Pull the trigger, but not in one lump sum. I don't know, 10 now and whatever, another 10 for 5 years or something. But let's pull the trigger. Let's get someone right now, today or whatever, tomorrow, as fast as possible, and let the season rolling, I guess. Yeah, I guess we got the bag after Rovella, and now Giuntoli already is in work to bringing Diara in. So good to see. Let's hope it's true, and let's hope we actually negotiating. And yeah, I think 20 is a little too much.
They said no to, or like they want 20. Maybe you can work something out with bonuses here and there.
Yeah.
That's the market. That's what I've been saying with Rovella and all those players and Zakaria. I'm like, that's the market for a midfielder now. Like a midfielder who is just good or unknown in this case, basically. I think that's what it is. Let me get this one out.
Yeah, 15 and some bonuses, and let's get it done. And hopefully he will play against Bologna in the second round.
Let me tweet it out really quickly. Almost done. I hate when I'm live and things drop.
At least something is happening, yeah. So
Yeah, I was willing to wrap it up. I was willing to wrap it up, but yeah, here's let me get the comments up. Apparently, Diara, whoops, will be 20 million. Di Marzio tweeted, yeah, I saw that. Should have kept Rovella for paying more for nobody from a team I've never heard of.
wow.
Okay, I heard of Strasbourg, so I'm not gonna be like. Actually, they're a well-known club in France. You know, like they are. The player is like he is tipped to be the next one up. You know, like 2-3 years, 40, 50 million. Like he's the one tipped to be that guy.
He has no injuries. Important.
That man,
No injuries.
that's the first thing Julian texted me, because I
Yeah.
said prep a video to see the midfield options or whatever that will drop tomorrow. Still watch, because it doesn't say we're gonna sign him 100%. But that's the first thing Julian told me. Like he has no injuries, and
None.
like he
Nothing.
missed no games, and like Rovella missed 31 games in the last. Like that's one thing with Rovella. He wants to play. Like that's also a big thing. Rovella wanted to play as a starter. Period. I don't think Allegri would have given him that. Compared to a Diarra, who would be like, I'm going Juve. If I'm not a starting player from the first season already, if I get, game time, start, bench, in and out, he probably will be like, I'm cool with that, because I'm making that step up now. I think that's a big difference here. I really do. And also, I've always said it. I don't think Allegri is a big fan of Rovella, period. I don't know why. I have no explanation for it, but I don't think he is. Otherwise, yes, selling him and spending 20 million now maybe wasn't the smart thing. unless they come out and say we believe Diara has bigger potential. Okay, that's a decision you made. I cannot agree with that because I've not seen Diara play. I've just read stuff, and you need to sell. Like out of the names, I'm like, like Party, and all those names. Like we were linked with Freuler, 31. Like keep that in mind. I'd rather take this chance then. That's right. That's just my opinion. That's just
Yeah,
my opinion.
and it would have been interesting to see what happens if Rovella stays healthy and he is with the with the team on the tour to see
Yeah. So it's an interesting move. It's a Juntuli move. I will say that. We were kind of when he came on. When Juntuli came, we were all like, okay, that's the type of deals we will probably get more. No, um,
yeah.
and I already see people saying, why don't we go for Turam? Man, it's money.
Thuram
Like,
is Liverpool. It's Liverpool. I'm telling you, Thuram is going
yeah,
to
if they
Liverpool.
miss out on Caicedo and Lavia,
Yeah,
then yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like Turam is a lot of money we don't have. Like, if yes, I want Turam, I will take him. Like, but we don't have
Chelsea
the
or
money.
Liverpool will sign him.
We don't
Chelsea and
have the
Liverpool.
money. That
Yeah.
is it's as simple as that. Like it's a reality. We don't
If we
have
can't
money.
can't sign a link, if we can't sign a wing back the whole summer when we had home whatnot for 15 million, we will not sign someone for 40 million for sure. Even with these sales, and 40 million is the bare minimum, especially if Liverpool starts bidding or Chelsea or whatever.
That's a good question from Jockey Bro. Do you know Diara is a DM or a box to box? Watch Julian's video tomorrow. He can play DM, but he can play, like you said, higher up the pitch. He can, and Julian will go over that as well. He can. So maybe that's also an added factor where Lakers like, you can play DM because he can play DM position. But man, I can also use you as an 8. Because the first article I read was great defensive midfielder, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, but do not be shocked if you see him in and around the box because he's that guy. Like, he can do it kind of all. And maybe that's something the club is like, or the Lakers like, okay, Rovella's gone, whatever. It is what it is. But this kid, he can play DM. I can move him. I can shift him. Pogba's still not ready. Fajoli's still recovering. Rabiot, I can shift him. I can move him here and there. And he can be multifunctional. That doesn't mean he can play all those positions well. Like people thought Bernardeschi could. And at the end of the day, he couldn't play any position well. So it doesn't mean he's a very good DM, a very good 8, a very good whatever. Behind the strikers, I saw, like, you can name whatever you want.
He's solid. He's only like I just looked at it. It's he's 179 centimeters, but his legs are super long. What I've
Yeah,
seen so
I
far.
looked up clips, and that's the
Yeah,
first thing that came to mind. I'm like,
yeah,
he's
he's super long legs. He has a shot from far in him, and he moves really well towards the box. So a lot to like, to be honest.
yeah, I agree. Like, again, I don't know anything. I've not watched him play. Like, videos, read
Yeah,
stuff.
I only watched highlights. Yeah,
So it can be a complete flop. But I know what Party can give me. I'm not saying Party is crap, but that's not the deals we should be doing. Money, fees, no salary, like that. Like, if you want to be sustainable, stop it. Like, stop doing these things. Even free agents. Like Rabiot next summer or even this summer. Like, stop doing that now. Time to get real because we have a lot of good youngsters. We gave away Rovella. We potentially, like, we gave away the winter. Like, you still have Fajoli. You cannot lose Miretti. I'm holding on. You cannot lose Ealing Jr. Not yet. We need to see more. I'm still saying you cannot lose Sule completely. The control over the player. If you want 20 million and offers of 8 million are coming, loan him out or sell him with an option to buy. Like, don't let him go completely. You have Hoyson coming through. Nonge, he looks excellent. Like, he looks like he can play.
yeah,
Because I've watched him. Like, we watched the under 23 games. He knows where he is on the pitch at all times. Like, it's beautiful to see. Like, even before he receives the ball, when he has possession of the ball, he knows where he is and his teammates are and his opponents. At, I don't know, how old is he? 19, 20? Like, probably 19. That's That's an excellent talent to have. Same as Miretti, he has the same thing. Uh, so we have a good crop. It's now to build around that, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say you cannot mess it up, but like there's a good base there to have a good future, in my opinion. It's just can you surround it with the right pieces, also coaching, and you make it work because you need to make it work. Like there's no room for any mistakes at this point anymore. Um, Let me read out the comments before we wrap up. If we played, whoops, sorry. If we played Seattle, Thrum would have been already in Turin. I 100% agree. If we had Champions League money, I think yes. It seems like every week we're talking about a new midfielder just to show the 3-5-2 is here to stay. Shake him up. Oh, well, that's my first conclusion after preseason. It can change mid-season, but as of now, yes, yes.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything that
We have
would
no,
show us that it would change.
that's it.
So
You know that's the main thing. So that's that. We're gonna wrap it up. Thanks everyone for watching. Like the video. I will be live tomorrow during the watch along for our last preseason game. We play at 8:30 my time. You can watch it out of Italy on the One Football app, whatever it is. So you can all watch the game. I will be live. So that's that. Check Julian's video tomorrow, especially now we're actually being linked with Diara because he's going over all the midfield options, but I think he will dive more into the Diara one as well. So check that one out. That will drop in the morning. So do that. Like that video as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that bell notification. Thanks, Norbert, for joining, for
yeah, thank you.
helping me out in this depressing 2-3 months. Actually, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's been like that. Also, season is kicking off. If you want to become a member like Norbert, you can do that. Link for that in the description. And you can do this. Join the members chat, prediction league, wallpapers, members. You can come on live. You can take part in the football quiz that's coming up. Prediction league, that's what you can win. A jersey, gift cards, or cash, you can choose. Like that's up to you. And even this year you can win one of our merchandise. Link for that in the description. Also the Discord link in the description. If you join, reach out to me and I will make sure you are added to the members part of the Discord thing. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. Thanks everybody for joining on this Friday evening, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow.